The Falcons made 4 roster signings. We're going to break those down. Plus, we're going to look at rookie minicamp winners and losers. But really quickly, I was looking at our YouTube analytics for the month of May. Falcons Today, 151 subscribers. Appreciate all of you that have joined the channel. But Saints now, sitting at 233 subs. If you hate the Saints, hit the sub button down below. Let's take down the Aints. Rookie Minicamp is in the books, which means it's time for one of my favorite segments we do every single year. Rookie Minicamp winners and losers, where we crown people winners and deem people losers despite no pads being on outside of helmets and gloves. But you know what? We're still going to have some fun with it. I think you will enjoy today's episode. But really quickly, I do want to recap all of the signings the Falcons made. So Jeremy Fowler over the weekend tweeting out that Atlanta added defensive lineman Bradlee Anae and defensive back Dane Cruikshank after their tryouts on Friday. So just some background information. Bradlee Anae, 2020 fifth-round pick out of Utah by the Dallas Cowboys, played 2 seasons with Dallas, then was released, went over to the New York Jets, did not see the field once the last 2 years, so not a very long career list when it comes to his stats. And he'll join one of the most competitive defensive lines. I mean, just in terms of total bodies and the percentage of roster space allocated to each room, I am quite literally running out of space on screen to add more names as the Falcons continue to add guys through free agency and the NFL draft. And then you've got DB Dane Cruikshank. He was with the Tennessee Titans for much of his career. Did have 1 year in Chicago, but he's got a lot more experience than Bradlee Anae, and I think he's going to be a much more competitive person when it comes to finding a spot on the 53-man roster. Ultimately, Atlanta did not draft a corner, but they've added 3 corners in free agency, right? Antonio Hamilton, Kevin King, and now Dane Cruikshank joins them. So we've seen a handful of free agent signings at the veteran cornerback spot. And then following rookie minicamp, they added 2 guys that were trying out for the team to their active 90-man roster. Tight end Ross Dwelley, he was with the San Francisco 49ers for a handful of seasons, so a much more experienced player. He'll join former 49ers teammate Charlie Werner, who you might remember the Falcons signed earlier in free agency. And then Atlanta added another wide receiver following rookie minicamp. And the wide receiver room is not where I would hope it would be at this stage, but, you know, more competition brings out the best in everyone. So those are the 4 signings the Falcons made. I believe they have 1 more vacant roster spot. So be on the lookout for another low-level signing or maybe a big splash signing, which actually leads me to this question right here. Do the Falcons need to make more additions? At this stage, do you feel like their roster is as good as it can get at this point in the offseason? Or do you still see starting caliber players on the market right now you would like Arthur Blank to open up his piggy bank for and go sign? Now let's jump into our rookie minicamp winners and losers. Our first winner is Michael Penix. I mean, when you're the first-round pick for any team, all eyes are going to be on you during rookie minicamp, and I really felt like he delivered. I mean, we got some really cool highlights and short clips and videos of him throwing the football around, but the guy was on full display. I mean, he was ripping the ball with a lot of velocity and a lot of accuracy down the field, short passes. It was fun to watch those clips. I mean, this is what fans have for like 4 to 5 months in the off season of hibernation, where you just live for these 12-second Twitter clips that the beat reporters get, and you look at that and you go, done deal, that's a Pro Bowler right there. So that makes Michael Penix a winner in my book. Loser, all the other rookies. Maybe not for the reason why you might think, though. I've got 2 reasons why I have the other rookies, except for the next rookie I have as a winner, as a loser. One, all the attention's going to Michael Penix. So if you're a bit of a needy rookie, you're not getting a lot of attention because everyone is just looking and recording and talking about number 9. But that's not the big reason why they're losers in my book. Michael Penix told the media on Thursday, before Friday's first day of minicamp, he said, I was about to go by myself to the facility. And I was like, how does that make me a leader if I don't bring other people along? So I texted the group chat and the whole crew came out. Not going to lie to you guys, if I was one of the other rookies, I mean, Sure, file this under things you love to see where you've got leadership qualities coming through from your quarterback already. But I'm sure all the other rookies were like, I'm kind of enjoying a nice night in on my Thursday evening before going to practice and prove myself for the next 3 days. Nerves are high. And here's the future star quarterback of this team saying, we need to come into practice right now. So off we go. His wide receiver, Casey Washington from Illinois in this draft, said on Michael Penix, he's awesome. I think him early on getting us out there as a group and showing himself as a leader is special. And obviously, who he is as a football player is also there. But just to get out here and compete with each other, it's pretty special. I think my own very brief athletic career is just coming through right now where I never loved when the team captain's like, who wants to go on a 5 a.m. 2-mile jog? Like, no, of course not. I want to sleep. So I'm guessing when the other guys got the call, like, no, leave Taco Mac. You've got to go practice a day early. They're like, all right, I'm not going to say no and be the one that stands out, but I'm not thrilled about this. All right, next winner would be Bralen Trice, the edge rusher from Washington. So exclude him from the other rookies. But Bralen Trice, in my eyes, was a winner from this weekend. Not because of what he did on the field. He couldn't touch a quarterback. There are no pads. There is no contact. So it's very difficult for pass rushers to prove their worth when they are not allowed to be, violent or physical at all. But Bud Dupree over the weekend signed with the LA Chargers. So if you're Bralen Trice, you're hoping that the Falcons do not bring any more guys in at your position because that's just going to create one more hurdle for you to get to the starting lineup. So for Atlanta to let Bud Dupree go elsewhere in free agency, I mean, the front five right now, it's Arnold Ebiketie, Lorenzo Carter, and Bralen Trice. So for a third-round pick to be just one man away from being a starting player week one, you can't ask for a whole lot more than that. So all eyes are on Bralen Trice to try and deliver some much-needed pass rushing help since the team's top 2 sack leaders from last year, Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell, are not looking like they'll be with the Falcons, as one is with the Chargers and one has not re-signed so far. Bralen Trice had an awesome quote from Minicamp as well. My mindset is it's a dog-eat-dog world. It's a cold world, and you're standing in front of me and have my food and my money, and I have to go through you. That's my mindset. I mean, that is, I wouldn't say nightmare fuel just yet, but that's the kind of stuff that when you're watching your team play on Hard Knocks, a pitch is tented. A tent is pitched down south, if you know what I mean. So grade the Falcons pass rush for me. A, B, C, D, or F. I would give it a C+. I mean, let's be honest. They lost their top 2 sack leaders from a season ago, and they are hoping on the emergence of Zach Harrison and Bralen Trice to make up for that. And maybe that's not a bad bet to make, but it's not one that I can give an A or B level of confidence in. Second loser from rookie minicamp, the Falcons ball boys. I don't know if you guys saw the clips of Michael Penix throwing the ball around to wide receivers, coaches, the ball boys on the field before the game, fielding punts and whatnot. Penix was ripping the skin off of their hands. I mean, half of the balls he threw were dropped, not because they were bad passes. They were just fastballs going right through their hands. So I just feel for the ball boys this year, it's not going to be a fun season for their hands. There's going to be a lot of blisters. It's going to look like they were just catching for Aroldis Chapman. So not ideal to be a Falcon ball boy this year on the receiving end of Michael Penix warming up. Winner? I couldn't think of another Falcons rookie minicamp. So how about the Atlanta Hawks over the weekend, right? One of the biggest stories in sports, the Atlanta Hawks, who just a few weeks ago were fighting for a playoff spot in the play-in games. And fast forward to early May, and a miracle unfolds in the NBA lottery where the Atlanta Hawks had a 3% chance to win the NBA draft lottery, and that 3% chance came through. It was the 5th lowest odds of any team that won the first overall pick in the NBA draft lottery. So pretty cool times for the Hawks. We'll see what happens with Trae Young and the rest of that crew if they want to shake up the roster a little bit with this just gift from above. It's a little bit of a bummer that this happens to be this year and not next or last year. Different French guys are going to go first overall, but I think last year's was a little bit better than this year's. So all options are on the table for the Hawks. But yeah, I felt like that was one of the bigger sporting news and events coming out from Atlanta this weekend compared to the Falcons rookie minicamp. So the Hawks, welcome to Falcons Today. You're our third winner from rookie minicamp. Way to go, boys. But how would you rank your sports fandom? I always love asking this question. And I think there's a couple of ways to go about it, right? Do you approach it through the mindset of which team that you follow, you like, you're a fan of, do you want to win a championship next? Because maybe you're a diehard Braves fan, but the Braves won not too many years ago. So maybe you bump them down the list a little bit to give priority to a team like the Falcons that has never won before. So let me know, how would you rank your sports fandom? That will do it for us on today's show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate everyone hanging out with us. We'll let you get back to the rest of your Monday night, and we'll catch up later.